Olivia Blackwood drove through downtown Millfield on a dreary November evening, the rhythmic pumping of the wipers hypnotic against the rain-slicked windshield. As an investigative journalist chasing groundbreaking stories nationwide, she didn't expect to find herself in this sleepy factory town, writing a puff piece on the reclusive Dr. Damian Thorn, the so-called savior who resurrected the town after its main industries collapsed. The desolate streets puzzled her. Downtown should be buzzing on a Friday night. Instead, it felt like a ghost town. The few people she glimpsed moved slowly, listlessly, as if in a trance. Storefronts gaped vacant and crumbling. Something felt off, but she couldn't put her finger on what. Her curiosity grew as she pulled up to Thorn Industries. She'd heard the rumors, mysterious experiments under the guise of advanced neuroscience, disappearances swept under the rug, but surely that was just idle gossip from bored townsfolk. Her editor assured her this was an easy assignment: interview the town benefactor about his vision to guide Millfield to a brighter tomorrow, snap a few photos, then wrap it up by morning. If only it was that simple. Thorn was handsome in a patrician way, with piercing eyes and an ageless face that made it hard to pin down his age. He spoke in vague platitudes about unlocking humanity's potential and elevating mankind to the next phase. Olivia suppressed an eye roll. Another affluent, eccentric preaching techno-utopianism. "I'm not just leading Millfield, Miss Blackwood," Thorn intoned. "I'm forging a path to make the blind see, the deaf hear, the dumb speak. If humanity follows me, we can shed our clumsy earthly constraints and emerge into glorious new forms." Olivia's partner Nate snapped photos while Thorn waxed poetic about a new world order. But Nate looked unsettled. "Something feels wrong here, Liv," he muttered as they left. "Everyone's acting like zombies, like they're hypnotized or something." Over the next few days, that nagging feeling of wrongness gnawed at them both as they interviewed townsfolk. The people moved robotically in eerie synchronization. They seemed empty somehow, hollowed out of spark and spirit. Nate dug into old archives and turned up records of past associates who tried to expose Thorn's unethical experiments and were committed to asylums shortly after, or simply vanished. Each discovery sent a chill down Olivia's spine. What if the rumors were true? The horrifying proof came when she saw a thrall climb onto a rooftop in plain view, blank-faced and impassive. With dawning dread, she realized what was about to happen. Before she could cry out, the man stepped off the roof, but froze inches from the edge, body unnaturally contorted. That's when she heard Thorn's voice from above, cold and imperious. "Return to your work, number 78. This test is concluded." Olivia burst into Thorn's office, sick with revulsion and rage. "You're experimenting on them," she accused him. "Some kind of mind control." Thorn's lips curled into a smirk. "Mind control is such an unseemly phrase, my dear. I prefer to call it cognitive readjustment. With my neural implants, I'm freeing mankind from its bestial base instincts and shaping it into a more enlightened form." His eyes gleamed feverishly. "Just imagine a world purged of greed, hatred, violence, and suffering, where every mind moves as one under my benevolent guidance. Any conflict or opposition extinguished before it can begin. I will be the piper guiding humanity to salvation." Olivia's gut twisted. This maniac actually believed his own delusions. She had to stop him somehow. Nate snuck into Thorn's lair as a spy while Olivia worked her press contacts to gather evidence and eyewitnesses to blow this open. But days passed with no word from Nate. Heart in her throat, Olivia crept into the compound under cloak of nightfall. Rounding a corner, she clapped a hand to her mouth to stifle a scream. Dozens of zombified townsfolk, thin as skeletons, stumbled around mindlessly. Then she saw Nate among them, all wit and warmth drained from his eyes. Olivia reeled back, but Thorn's voice boomed over the loudspeaker. "My children, subdue the interloper!" The crowd surged at her, arms raised as if to hug her or strangle her. She fled down the labyrinthine halls as the mob chased her in eerie unison. She escaped, but only just. That night, huddled in a motel, Olivia sunk into hopelessness. What could one woman do against legions of mindless slaves? If she failed, she'd end up just like Nate, another meat puppet in thrall to a megalomaniac. No, she would not let this devil win. She'd play his twisted game and beat him at his own rules. A desperate plan took shape in the pre-dawn light. Olivia snuck into Thorn's lab and recorded a message overflowing with passion and righteous fury. "People of Millfield," her voice rang out over the town's hacked speakers. "Damian Thorn has deceived you, enslaved you. He's crushed your minds and squeezed out your souls. But deep down, a spark of you remains, of who you truly are beneath his programming. No tyrant can snuff out your free will unless you let him." All around town, hordes of thralls froze in their tracks, twitching like malfunctioning robots. Thorn snarled and barked orders, but they disobeyed, defying their puppet master for the first time. "Remember who you are," Olivia exhorted. "Mothers and fathers, siblings and friends. No one can force you to destroy all you love. You have a choice. I know you'll make the right one." One by one, the townsfolk blinked as if waking from a trance. Murmuring with wonder, they turned on Thorn, who blanched and shrank from his rebellious creations. As they advanced on him, Olivia stepped forward to confront the devil of Millfield, mind control device in hand. "Nothing built on a foundation of subjugation can survive. Your empire was always destined to crumble." With an inhuman shriek, Thorn lunged for the remote. Olivia pulled back and smashed it to bits on the floor. All around them, the compound quaked and split as if the earth itself rejected Thorn's poison. The sins of his arrogance finally brought the whole corrupt enterprise crashing down. Olivia, Nate, and the shell-shocked townsfolk stumbled out of the wreckage and watched the lair collapse into rubble and dust, taking Thorn with it. A long road to healing lay ahead, but the town had awoken from its long nightmare. The piper had been silenced. As a new dawn rose over Millfield, Olivia and Nate bid farewell to start their journey home. In the rearview mirror, the town looked almost peaceful, daring to hope again. But back in the sundered ruins, buried in dust and detritus, a tiny light began to blink on a shattered surface.